Dr. Freeman, I don't know if I ever heard you speak about your journey to discovering a plant-based diet personally. Do you mind sharing that?
Yeah, no, happy to. So I grew up in New York, and never really understood why all of my friends growing up, their parents were all either dying, unfortunately, or had heart attacks or cancer. And I think about our diet where I grew up, it was, 3 or 4 inches of cream cheese on a bagel. If you went to the beach, you always stopped and got bagels beforehand, and there were, lots and lots of cream cheese. 7 inches of pastrami. A piece of pizza weighed 5 pounds. And so that's how we ate. We ate like kings, incredibly high fat, highly processed, carcinogenic foods. And I filed that away in my background, went through training, didn't get a lot of nutrition or lifestyle recommendations. Came out to Colorado, started practice, and like everyone else, threw pills at people for a while. Then I started the Walk with a Doc program, and then I really started to look at nutrition. And we were taking a family vacation up in Steamboat, Colorado, which is a ski resort town, and in the summer it's even lovelier. And we ate dinner at a greasy burger place, and then I was finishing at the time. I think it was the China study, and I finished it that night. And I was vegan ever since. I just said to myself, "My goodness, how did I not know all this? How did I not get all of this information and data to make decisions well before this?" And then I started doing it with my patients, and the results were extraordinary. And then personally, I actually redid my life insurance physical about 3 months after doing this and got a rebate check in the mail. So it really works. And for my patients, especially where I work, so I work at National Jewish Health, which is a big time respiratory hospital that takes care of a lot of rare conditions, and all disease shares one common endpoint, which is inflammation. And if we give our bodies an anti-inflammatory environment through the way we eat and live and so forth, it has a chance to heal. And so people's asthma gets better, or their interstitial lung disease stops progressing, or their coronary disease stops progressing, or their diabetes goes into remission. And there's nothing more powerful than watching people's disease go away with lifestyle as opposed to drug, which is pretty great.
I love that. Yeah. Dr. Alan Goldhammer says if you're Jewish, the KKK will kill you. Knishes, Kreplach, and Kugel.
Well, that may be true. Knishes are technically, well, some of the Knishes are technically vegan. So you can probably get away with those on occasion, but again, they are highly processed.
Absolutely. Well, here's a question that was sent in from a viewer named Susan, and I actually think it's such a good one. I might save it for all the doctors because she talks about how, she's read all the documentaries and books and how they say that a plant-based diet always addresses how we can prevent and reverse disease so that we don't have an early death. But she wonders what do whole food plant-based people die of and when?
So all people die, all right, unless perhaps you're a vampire or something like that. And we still die from the same thing. So remember, at some point, your body will give out, right? So, my guess is if you were to look carefully at all of your possessions and you're 70 or 80 years old, let's say, chances are you have very few things that are 70 or 80 years old. They just don't last. And the human body is similar. So people die from heart disease, they die from heart failure, they die from cancer. It still happens, but it happens later in life, and many times it is not as virulent or powerful as some of the disease if you were to say eat hot dogs every day as an example. But people die from everything, even if they're plant based, even cancer, even heart disease. The goal, of course, is for all people to live until the last day they're supposed to be on the planet, and then just leave, peacefully at home if it's possible. But again, still people die in the hospital that are plant based. Sometimes people even have accidents and die. So.
Yeah. When you transitioned, were you able to get your family on board easily?
Yeah, so the truth is, most of my family was always interested in being vegetarian or close to, and these days, my entire family, for the most part, is plant based. I would say that for the children, dairy, so milk, cheese, butter, yogurt, typically in the form of birthday party pizza or ice cream or something, is difficult to fully eliminate from their diet. But if one of them said to me, "Dad, I want to try a burger or something," I certainly wouldn't stop them. But none of them have ever wanted to because they understand where it comes from. My favorite moment was when my now current 11-year-old, and we have 4 kids, we went to a farm to visit the animals so we could see them and how they live and feed them and stuff. And he saw a turkey just kind of roaming around, and he said, "Dad, I see this turkey here. It's gigantic. It's beautiful. It's got all these big feathers, but where do all the dead turkeys come from that people eat?" Like, he didn't realize that they had to be killed. And I think once he put two and two together, he hasn't eaten a piece of meat ever. So
I love that story. What a great kid. Thank you.